Welcome to the decade that built the roads of today. These trucks weren't upgrades. They were revolutions in steel. Stronger frames, smarter layouts, real endurance. Everything modern haulage stands on began here. This isn't history. It's the foundation. Number 1. Kenworth T600 1985. When Kenworth unveiled the T600 in 1985, the American trucking industry was still dominated by square-nosed, long-hood conventional trucks that looked powerful but sliced through the air like brick walls. Fuel prices were rising, profit margins were tightening, and fleets were beginning to realize that brute strength alone could no longer keep them competitive. The T600 arrived as a shock to the system. It looked strange: rounded hood, sloped windshield, integrated fenders, and a set-back front axle. Many drivers initially mocked it, but within a few years, it completely rewrote the rules of long-haul trucking. What made the T600 revolutionary was not styling, it was science. Kenworth engineers used wind tunnel testing, something almost unheard of in American truck design at the time. They shaped the hood and cab to reduce drag, allowing air to flow smoothly around the tractor and trailer. Compared to traditional long-nosed trucks, the T600 delivered fuel savings of 10–15% in real-world fleet operations. For a truck running over 120,000 miles per year, that meant thousands of dollars saved annually. These savings changed how fleets bought trucks. Until then, purchasing decisions were often driven by horsepower, durability, and driver preference. The T600 introduced a new metric: aerodynamic efficiency. Suddenly, a truck's shape mattered as much as its engine. Large carriers adopted the T600 in massive numbers, proving that a visually unconventional truck could be far more profitable over its service life. The T600 also influenced driver comfort and sleeper design. Its cab offered better interior space and visibility than many earlier models, and its layout encouraged longer haul operations. It became a true highway machine, built not just to pull heavy loads, but to do so with minimal wasted energy. Competitors had no choice but to follow. Freightliner, Peterbilt, International, and Volvo all began developing aerodynamic tractors in response. The modern North American highway truck, long, smooth, sloped, and fuel-focused, exists because of the T600. Why it mattered? The Kenworth T600 transformed trucking from a horsepower-driven industry into an efficiency-driven one. Every modern aerodynamic tractor in North America traces its DNA back to this single model. Number 2. Volvo F12 N12 Series. In Europe, the 1980s demanded a different kind of truck. Roads were narrower, regulations stricter, and international borders constant. Volvo's F12 and N12 series emerged as the definitive answer to this complex environment. These trucks combined durability, high-torque diesel engines, and driver-focused cab design in a way that reshaped European long-haul transport. The F12, a cab-over-engine design, became especially influential. It was engineered for high gross weights across mountainous terrain, offering exceptional low-end torque and reliability. Volvo's 12-liter diesel engines earned a reputation for running hundreds of thousands of kilometers with minimal downtime. For operators hauling across Scandinavia, the Alps, and Eastern Europe, reliability wasn't a luxury, it was survival. What truly distinguished the F12 N12 family was Volvo's holistic design philosophy. Instead of treating engine, gearbox, cab, and chassis as separate components, Volvo engineered them as a single system. Gear ratios matched engine torque curves. Cab suspension reduced fatigue. Visibility was optimized for congested urban loading zones and high-speed highways alike. The interior was equally transformative. At a time when many trucks still felt like industrial tools, Volvo treated the cab as a workplace. Improved insulation reduced noise and vibration. Ergonomic dashboards improved long-hour usability. Sleeper areas became livable rather than merely functional. These trucks became the template for European long-haul design. Later models from Volvo, Scania, DAF, and Mercedes all adopted this system-based approach. The idea that a truck must protect the driver as much as the cargo began here. Why it mattered? Volvo's F12 N12 series defined what a European highway truck should be: powerful, integrated, reliable, and driver-centered. Modern European tractors still follow this exact blueprint. Number 3. Iveco TurboStar, 1984. The Iveco TurboStar, introduced in 1984, represented Italy's bold entry into the elite class of European long-haul trucks. At a time when continental freight was expanding rapidly across borders, fleets needed a tractor that could adapt to different countries, regulations, payload demands, and road conditions. The TurboStar delivered exactly that. It featured turbocharged diesel engines designed for sustained highway operation, offering strong torque and competitive fuel efficiency. More importantly, the truck was built around a modular concept. Fleets could choose from multiple engine outputs, axle configurations, cab heights, and drivetrain setups. One platform could serve many purposes: high-speed highway hauling, mountainous routes, or mixed regional transport. This adaptability made the TurboStar immensely popular across southern and central Europe. It became a workhorse for cross-border transport, often seen pulling refrigerated trailers, tankers, and heavy curtain-siders across thousands of kilometers every week. Driver comfort was another major advance. The cab was spacious for its time, with improved bedding, storage, and sound insulation. Iveco recognized that long-haul drivers were becoming professionals whose performance directly affected profitability. Fatigue meant delays, accidents, and inefficiency. The TurboStar also symbolized a shift in European manufacturing strategy. Trucks were no longer national products. They were continental tools, designed for multinational fleets and international regulations. Why it mattered? The TurboStar showed how a single truck platform could serve an entire continent. Its modular design philosophy is still used by every major European manufacturer today. Number 4. DAF95 Series, 1987. The DF95 series arrived in 1987 and immediately stood apart from earlier European trucks. It wasn't just another powerful tractor, it was a machine designed around the human being inside it. In an era when driver shortages were beginning to emerge, DF understood something crucial. The future of haulage would be one not only with engines, but with ergonomics. The 95 featured a newly developed cab with improved aerodynamics, lower noise levels, and a flat, spacious interior. It offered superior visibility, better seat positioning, and a layout that reduced strain during long shifts. The sleeper area was among the most comfortable of its time, allowing genuine rest between driving periods. Mechanically, the truck paired large displacement engines with modern transmissions capable of handling high torque while maintaining efficiency. But it was the experience of driving the 95 that made it legendary. Drivers preferred it, fleets noticed lower turnover, productivity increased. DAF proved that comfort translated directly into business performance. A rested driver drives longer, safer, and more efficiently. This insight transformed purchasing priorities across Europe. Trucks were no longer evaluated only by payload and power. They were judged by how well they protected the driver's body and mind. The 95 series became a benchmark. Its influence can be seen in every modern European tractor with flat floors, tall roofs, ergonomic dashboards, and premium sleeper modules. Why it mattered? DAF turned driver comfort into a measurable competitive advantage. Modern haulage now treats the cab as a mobile workplace, and that philosophy began here. Number 5. Scania 3 Series, 1988. When Scania introduced the 3 Series in 1988, it didn't merely update an existing truck line, it reset expectations for what a premium long-haul tractor should be. At a time when European fleets were demanding higher reliability, lower fuel consumption, and better driver environments, Scania delivered a machine that balanced all three without compromise. The 3 Series was built around Scania's modular engineering philosophy. Buyers could choose from a wide range of engines, including inline sixes and the now legendary V8. These engines were known not only for power, but for durability. The V8 variants, in particular, became icons of European haulage, capable of pulling extreme weights across mountain passes with ease. For heavy long-distance operations, torque mattered more than peak horsepower, and Scania mastered that balance. Aerodynamics also became a central focus. The streamlined variants of the 3 Series featured reshaped front panels, roof deflectors, and side fairings designed to reduce drag at motorway speeds. These were not cosmetic upgrades, they delivered measurable fuel savings, which was critical in a decade defined by rising operating costs. Inside the cab, Scania introduced a driver-centric layout. The dashboard was angled toward the driver, controls were grouped logically, and visibility was significantly improved. Long hours behind the wheel became less exhausting. The sleeper was redesigned to support real rest, acknowledging that professional drivers were spending weeks on the road. The 3 Series quickly earned a reputation for being drivers' trucks. Operators preferred them. Fleets discovered that a truck drivers loved was a truck that stayed in service longer, suffered less abuse, and achieved higher productivity. This model directly influenced later Scania generations and competitors alike. The modern European tractor, with its ergonomic cockpit, aerodynamic form, and wide engine lineup, owes much to the 3 Series. Why it mattered. The Scania 3 Series proved that performance, efficiency, and driver comfort could coexist in one platform. It became the gold standard for premium European haulage trucks. Number 6. Mercedes-Benz SK, 1989. The Mercedes-Benz SK, introduced in 1989, marked a turning point for heavy-duty trucking in Europe. SK stood for Schwere Klasse, heavy class, and the name was literal. This was a machine designed for the hardest work, long-distance haulage, construction transport, and heavy regional freight. But beneath its rugged exterior lay something more significant. It was a bridge between the mechanical age and the digital future of trucking. Replacing the long-running NG series, the SK brought with it improved chassis strength, more refined suspensions, and a new generation of powerful engines ranging from large inline sixes to V8 configurations. These engines were engineered for longevity under extreme loads, reinforcing Mercedes-Benz's reputation for durability. What truly set the SK apart, however, was its early embrace of electronic systems. While primitive by modern standards, the SK introduced more integrated diagnostics and electrical architecture than most competitors. This laid the groundwork for future telematics, engine management systems, and electronic driver aids. Driver comfort also took a leap forward. The cab offered better insulation, reduced vibration, improved seating, and more practical storage. For long-haul drivers, the SK felt like a step into a more civilized era of trucking. It acknowledged that a heavy truck could be both brutally strong and human-friendly. The SK's success validated Mercedes-Benz's vision and paved the way for the Actros in the 1990s. A truck that would fully embrace electronics, automation, and safety systems. In this sense, the SK was not just a product, it was a transitional platform for an industry on the edge of digital transformation. Why it mattered. The Mercedes-Benz SK connected traditional heavy-duty engineering with the electronic future. It introduced the mindset that trucks would become intelligent machines, not just mechanical ones. Number 7. Freightliner FLD120, 1987. When Freightliner introduced the FLD120 in 1987, it didn't aim to impress with chrome or tradition. It aimed to solve a business problem: how to move freight cheaper, longer, and more reliably than ever before. At a time when North American fleets were expanding rapidly and margins were tightening, the FLD120 emerged as the first true fleet-optimized highway tractor. Unlike many earlier trucks designed around driver image or brand heritage, the FLD was engineered around efficiency. Its aluminum cab reduced overall weight, allowing higher payloads within legal limits. The setback front axle improved weight distribution and aerodynamics. The hood and cab shape, though still conventional, was smoothed to reduce drag. Every design decision was guided by life cycle cost rather than appearance. The FLD's true innovation was its modular architecture. Fleets could specify engines, axles, wheelbases, sleepers, and suspension setups with unprecedented flexibility. This meant one truck family could serve regional distribution, coast-to-coast hauling, or specialized freight without redesign. Maintenance departments loved it. Parts commonality simplified repairs and inventory. Drivers appreciated the spacious cab and improved ride quality. Large carriers adopted the FLD in massive numbers. It proved that buying hundreds of identical efficiency-focused tractors could dramatically reduce cost per mile. This philosophy reshaped North American trucking. Manufacturers stopped asking, "How powerful should this truck be?" and started asking, "How cheaply can it move freight for 1,000,000 miles?" The FLD also helped Freightliner rise to market dominance. Its success laid the foundation for later models like the Century, Columbia, and ultimately the Cascadia, the most common Class 8 truck on American roads today. Every one of those trucks inherits the FLD's core philosophy: lightweight construction, aerodynamic shaping, and fleet-centered design. Why it mattered. The Freightliner FLD120 created the modern fleet truck concept. It turned tractors into logistical tools optimized for uptime, cost per mile, and scalability, the exact priorities that define haulage today. Number 8. Man-Heavy Series, F90 era. In the late 1980s, MAN's heavy truck range, culminating in what became known as the F90 generation, defined what a European workhorse should be. These trucks were built for brutal reality, mixed highway and construction duty, heavy payloads, rough infrastructure, and long service lives in demanding regions. MAN focused on structural integrity. Frames were overbuilt by contemporary standards. Suspensions were designed to tolerate uneven loads and poor surfaces. Engines emphasized torque and endurance over headline power figures. These trucks thrived in environments where downtime meant financial disaster. Eastern Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and heavy domestic construction work across Western Europe. What made MAN influential was its refusal to specialize too narrowly. While some manufacturers optimized purely for highway efficiency, MAN built trucks that could haul long-distance freight one week and serve heavy regional or industrial transport the next. This versatility shaped European speccing practices. Fleets began demanding trucks capable of surviving unpredictable duty cycles. Cabs also evolved. Though not as luxurious as premium highway tractors, MAN's interiors became more ergonomic, better insulated, and more livable than earlier generations. The message was clear: even a workhorse truck must respect the driver. MAN's approach influenced how manufacturers thought about durability and mixed-use design. Modern heavy tractors and rigid trucks still follow this principle. One platform, many missions. Today's construction-capable highway tractors and heavy regional haulers are direct descendants of this philosophy. Why it mattered? MAN proved that a single truck platform could serve extreme workloads across multiple industries. It shaped the modern expectation that heavy trucks must be both versatile and indestructible. Number 9. International 9000 300 Series. International's 9000 series trucks, evolving through the 1980s into the 9300 and families, represented a quiet but powerful transformation in North American haulage. These trucks bridged the gap between classic long-nose styling and modern efficiency-driven design. The 9000 series introduced improved aerodynamics through setback axles, smoother hood profiles, and better airflow management. While not as radical as the Kenworth T600, these changes delivered measurable fuel savings while preserving the traditional American tractor silhouette many drivers preferred. International focused heavily on durability and serviceability. These trucks were designed for massive mileages. Frames, cooling systems, and drivetrains were engineered to survive relentless long-haul use. Sleeper configurations expanded, reflecting the rise of coast-to-coast freight networks. Fleets appreciated the balance: familiar form, modern efficiency, and strong reliability. The 9000-9400 series showed that progress did not require abandoning tradition. It taught manufacturers how to modernize without alienating drivers. This evolutionary approach influenced later American truck design. Modern tractors still balance heritage aesthetics with aerodynamic and operational efficiency, a lesson International helped perfect during this era. Why it mattered. International demonstrated how legacy truck design could evolve into modern efficiency without losing identity. This balance remains central to North American trucking culture. Number 10. Mitsubishi Fuso Super Great, 1983. The Mitsubishi Fuso Super Great, launched in 1983, transformed heavy trucking across Asia. Before its arrival, many Asian markets relied on medium-duty trucks stretched beyond their intended limits. The Super Great introduced a true heavy-duty highway tractor tailored for long-distance freight in dense, infrastructure-limited regions. It featured powerful turbocharged diesel engines, compact yet robust chassis design, and forward-leaning cab ergonomics optimized for visibility in crowded traffic. Its engineering emphasized durability, efficiency, and low operating cost, essential qualities in markets where trucks often run continuously with minimal downtime. The Super Great quickly became the backbone of freight networks across Japan, Southeast Asia, and export markets in the Middle East and Africa. It enabled long-haul logistics in regions previously constrained by vehicle limitations. Perhaps most importantly, it proved that heavy haulage was not a Western monopoly. Asian manufacturers could design world-class long-distance trucks. This paved the way for today's global truck platforms and Daimler's worldwide integration of Fuso into its commercial vehicle strategy. Why it mattered? The Super Great globalized heavy haulage. It helped create the modern worldwide trucking ecosystem where long-distance freight flows across every continent. These trucks didn't just carry cargo. They carried an entire industry forward. Every modern hauler still follows their blueprint. Technology changed, rules changed, but their impact never faded. Legends don't disappear. They become the standard.